Ferguson. Oh, nice. Is this gonna be right there? Oh, never mind. Never mind, the video's up way high. Okay, they're in the weight. Where's the thing? Oh, down here. There we go. Okay. Okay, here. Put this one down low. Oh, there's Gail. Excellent. Minimize. There we go. We could always type you. Oh, gallery view. Gallery view. Start video. There we go. Good morning. Oh, Gail, you're muted.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. That's crazy. Yeah. How are you?
I'm doing very good. I don't have anything to complain about. Just busy, really busy. But otherwise, good.
Good.
I'm tired of this bad air, but it's here, so I'm happy about that.
It's weird that we're backwards, isn't it?
Oh,
And we're like the
that's
opposite
right. I was
of
like,
what we are.
something was different.
We have a bunch of people joining us. I think there was 10 signed up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So keep an eye on the waiting room.
Yeah.
Maybe scooch in.
It's like we're opposite. I was we're gonna crash.
We're gonna give everybody a few minutes to get logged in.
Oh, there we go.
Hello,
The
Cindy.
question is, do you want us to be videoed? You want to see us, or do you want us to just show our names?
We like seeing people,
Oh, okay.
but we also respect for those that don't want to be seen. I have those days. Good morning. Is it Danielle? Hopefully. Hi, Michael. I recognize Mike. Hello, Francis. I'm gonna grab maybe one of these. Take it off. We are expecting a few more people, but I want to keep everybody on schedule. So give me for the people that are on, you can hear me okay. I'm getting messages that our internet is a little unstable, which we've been having some issues with that since everybody is online, either working from home, and especially since school went back into session. So we're going to start with introductions this morning. So for those of you that are new to us and either found us through Meetup or one of the Facebook pages, I am Sheila Perot, and this is Jacqueline. And I own Blue Nest Home, and Jacqueline is one of my senior organizers. And so Blue Nest Home, we are located in Silverdale. Our office is in the office building right next to Five Guys in the same parking lot as AMC Movie Theater. And out of our office, we surrounding areas for professional organizing. That can be clearing out a guest room or a garage or an attic, all the way up to helping clear out hoarded conditions. We can do that. We do estate sales, a lot of online estate sales for people who are either downsizing and moving to a smaller place, or maybe they're moving to senior housing, or for family members who are clearing out estates for family members or loved ones who have passed away. We do that. We also provide relocation services. We can help people move locally or across country, packing them, unpacking them, doing the whole move management. And then we also do homekeeping, which is like housekeeping, but with more of a concierge service mindset. We'll basically do whatever we can to help you in life and make your life easier. And a lot of times that means cleaning out a home, cleaning bathrooms and kitchens.
Oh yeah.
And so forth. But we'll also do small organizing tasks while
Yeah.
we're there too. Laundry, start a meal, that
Mhm.
type of thing.
And we do, now we just added the virtual
Yes.
organizing.
And virtual organizing, which we played around with a little bit, but has become more popular with COVID. And so specifically, do you want to kind of talk about how that works a little bit?
I really actually enjoy it. I think it gives clients a little bit more, I mean, it's still challenging in its own ways, but I think it gives them the motivation and the courage that they can do it even when we leave a session. So we'll set up more assignments and tasks and things, and then we'll reconvene, which I think is going to be a little bit similar of how you're going to run these sessions too.
Yeah. So when you have an organizer come into your home, a lot of times we're working one-on-one with you, working through the projects and stuff. And virtual organizing kind of works the same way, but instead of maybe being in your home for 2 or 3 or 4 more hours straight, they tend to be a little bit shorter.
Yeah.
Walking you through some different situations. And as long as you have a phone or computer where we can see the stuff that
even if we get pictures, like if you take a picture of the area that you want to target or address, we can go over it and study it, make a game plan. And it'll be similar, like we'll set goals and we'll kind of dig into like maybe what the challenges are in the hot spots, and then we'll set kind of a game plan.
Yeah.
Which actually is kind of like your format that you wanted to work with.
Right. So those are our services, and we provide in-home consultations or over online consultations, whatever works best for you. If you're interested in any of those, just reach out to us and I will let you know more about that. But the consultations are no charge there. It just kind of gives us a chance to get to know you, figure out what your goals are, and kind of brainstorm what would work best for you. So welcome. Oh, and I have one more person.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay, nice.
So welcome everybody. Thank you so much. Today, we're going to start off the series that is going to go through November. So our last meeting for this series will be the Thursday before Thanksgiving. So maybe you have a goal to clear out a certain area before you have family come over for Thanksgiving dinner. Or maybe it's just something you want to tackle, or maybe you're just interested in kind of our processes and our mindset.
I like goals.
Yeah,
with time,
goals
and dates. I like that. I think that's very helpful.
Yeah. And so each week we're going to dive into a topic and give you some challenges that you can choose to accept or not accept.
We're just here to support.
We're just and see where you are from there. We invite you to this for the whole
I the only one that can't hear them?
Oh. Say here.
Okay, can you hear us now?
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Okay, Gail, can you hear us?
Yes, but I suggest that we shut our video off because you'll get a better signal without our video faces showing, I think. Because you were gone completely.
Yeah, it totally
We were
dropped off.
here,
I know, we
but-
were here.
Yeah. Yeah. So maybe if we
Okay,
if
all right. So,
we keep our audio but get rid of our video, then you might get a better signal.
it might, we'll see. All right, so we're just gonna hopefully
Not
keep
vanish
on
again. Yeah.
If that happens again, we will get back. So, okay, so hopefully you heard, let's see. Okay, is that good? All right, so I'm just gonna talk and hope that everybody can hear us. We are recording this, and so if you're unable to hear everything, we'll repost it to Meetup and through Zoom, and we'll send you all the links so you can listen to it. But we're hoping to have some interaction here. So
I was gonna say there is still the message board. If that's easier too, maybe that.
yeah,
will-
if you go down
Oh, the chat, right?
and click on your
Okay.
chat feature,
Perfect.
you can send us messages through the chat feature, and we'll keep an eye on that too. So feel free to do that. So as I was saying, we're hoping to give you some challenges every week. If you're able to join us every week, we would love to see you every week. But if you,
There it is. I just see it all the way up to the top, the blue button. There you go.
gotta let Cindy back in.
Oh.
There we go. Okay, thanks for sending us a chat, Cindy, to let us know you're in there. All right, so over the course of the week, we're going to build on each topic that we are discussing, and then move what we've learned and what we've taken away and apply that to the next week. And so by November, before Thanksgiving comes around, our goal is that you have some skills that you can take and apply to your daily life and be able to help organize and feel a little bit more in control of things.
Yeah, kind of. We were saying it might seem repetitive, but I think that's how things start to stick. You know, it starts to become like a flow and more natural versus you have to keep reviewing and stuff like that.
Yeah, and we're open to feedback too. So if you want us to do something a little bit different or whatever, feel free to give us feedback on that. We like feedback. All right. So today we are going to be talking about creating mind space. So Jacqueline and I have talked about this.
I like this topic.
And so before we start addressing any clutter that might be going on in your homes or in your offices or with your life, we have to clear out the space up here first, because if this is too full, it makes it really difficult to.
Yes, I've noticed, I think a lot in general going on, but definitely with the work that we do, the emotional mindset is not touched upon or cleared. Like we go into it, we start day one, it gets so emotional because we haven't honed in on, like you said, clearing, okay, what am I feeling? What's really bugging me? Is it the physical space, or is it really just my time and my mind just really cluttered with worry and just too many activities, etc. So I like kind of focusing in on within first.
Yeah. So we're asking ourselves what takes a lot of mind space. What's holding occupancy in our brain that's not paying rent? And so
that you need to.
the things that are in our brain that are not paying rent are things that do not bring us joy, do not inspire us or challenge us or motivate us, or things that we don't love. So maybe a child or a spouse or a family member or your job isn't bringing you joy right now. Maybe it's some stress and so forth, but that's something that, that's going to occupy all the time.
And you
that,
can't evict them.
we have connection to those. We can't evict those.
Right.
We love those. We're not going to talk about those issues today.
Yeah, no.
So what did we decide did like occupy space and not necessarily pays rent to be there?
Yeah, which luckily, I'm so thankful I've tackled this, but the social media digital world is just, it's just out of control, I think. And it can really, like I said, I'm really glad I've tackled this challenge in my life, because there was moments where I just felt like I was wasting so much time just scrolling.
And so when we're talking about social media, it really encompasses a lot. It's basic. Let's define what we're talking about social media. We're talking about any online activity or pretty much any electronic activity. So it could be TV.
Yeah, I was gonna say TV. I think should be included in that as well.
Netflix, as well as social media, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn.
Even maybe email too.
Yeah, email.
Especially with work.
YouTube.
On that. YouTube,
anything where you're basically plugged in to it.
Yeah.
We're just going to encompass all of that as social media. And so we want you, if you're taking notes, kind of jot down those things that you are plugged into that take up a lot.
Yeah, a good way to look too is like in your settings, looking up the screen time and the data or something used for it. I noticed when I first did it, like a couple of mine were like way over here, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like I need to rein that in. I was like, that's not healthy.
Yeah, it's not healthy.
But I mean, everyone's different, but I think that's a good way to like you said, you can jot it down, kind of look through, and nothing. Don't overwhelm yourself with that either.
And we're not, believe it or not, our advice is not to get rid of all of it. So a lot of times I know our clients think that we're going to come in their home and tell them they have to get rid of everything. We don't do that.
No, I don't know if I mentioned this to you, but I was saying to someone else, because a client brought it up, and they're like, do you just like say to like erase everything and it like almost like cold turkey stuff? And I was like, well, that's like pulling the rug. I'm not a fan of that. Yeah. I think it's, as we started with, it's touching in within, going, okay, what's taking up too much of my time, and what's with the social media too, what's not in my goals, like what's negatively affecting me and doesn't fit in how I want to perceive things or how I want to have a ripple effect in my life.
So I want you to think about 3 key areas, and we're going to talk about these 3 key areas over the next weeks that we meet. So we're going to talk about personal growth, friends and family, and hobbies. So just really focusing on those 3 areas. And what I want you to do in each of those 3 areas, write down what brings you joy, what inspires you, what motivates you, and what challenges you to think differently. So again, what brings you joy, what inspires you, what motivates you, what challenges you to think differently, and then also think about, who do you truly want to keep in touch with? Is it, do you have a strong connection to an old classmate or an old friend that, lives across country and you keep in contact with them through email or social media? Or do you have a family member that really drives you insane and you want to keep in contact with them because they're your cousin, but they're not bringing you joy, they're not inspiring you, they're not motivating you, they're not challenging you in a good way? If somebody's challenging you.
And I think like an example of that would be like if they're constantly posting, like hopefully everyone's familiar with like the formats of the social media, but they're posting really negative pictures or quotes or something. And even in email, you could have like that cousin that sends you these wild emails that are conspiracy theories that maybe you don't.
If you love me, you'll read
Yeah.
yeah.
Or if you don't, want the wrath of God on you in 4 days or something, you have to resend it to 50 people. Stuff like that, start to kind of maybe just get a feel for. Like if you're starting to look and go, yeah, this one kind of this, and this always kind of brings me down, or instantly. I always instantly know when something's bugging me. If I'm like, ugh. I make that like kind of like
sigh.
yeah.
And then personal growth. So that would be what brings you personal growth, and it could be if you are in a career, if that's growing business, if you're self-employed, what's growing your business? Is it networking? Is it education? Is it self-care? Just think about what does personal growth mean to you, and it can mean something different to all of us, and that's totally fine. But just jot down in your personal growth area what brings you joy, what inspires you, motivates you, challenges you to think differently. Write that down.
Yeah.
And then in the third is hobbies, and I think sometimes hobbies get pushed around because we run out of time to do them,
or they're forgotten about.
They're forgotten about,
yeah.
I can relate to that. I used to like to play around with some hobby sewing, some crafts and so forth, and then I had a family and it got kind of pushed away, and then I started my own business and it kind of got pushed away. But I've noticed that as my children are getting older, now I'm able to reintroduce that. And so, but they change over time. It could be reading, it could be listening to audiobooks. What brings you joy, inspires you, and motivates you, and challenges you to think differently in your hobbies? So things that you're not doing for work or for your family, but what are things that you do just because you enjoy doing them? Is it cooking? What could be some other hobbies that?
I mean, I love dance, and I hope I never have to give that up again. I missed it during the COVID time. Dance, I'm trying to think too. Or
music.
Yeah, I was gonna say music. Or
either playing an instrument or listening to music. So think about those hobbies and just write them down, because I know there has
and those can shift over time, and that's okay. Like all of this over time is okay to be edited. Like,
totally
like, like I'm still not feeling a bunch of this. Like I think we were discussing, I did a big kind of clean out, and then I tweaked over time too. And I go, I don't really. That's actually not. I'm not into that.
Three areas that we're going to focus on over the next few weeks, and then today we want to take those things, the personal growth, friends and family, and hobbies. And just so you know, we do have a lovely worksheet that we're going to be sending out to you after today. For those of you that like a more structured type of notes, you can look at it and write these down and keep it. Yeah,
I really like it.
I can actually share the screen with you.
Nice. Yeah, I really want to focus on how you want your social media space, what you want it to bring you. Do you want it to be something more for just work? So you want to focus on, like you said, maybe low minutes and just scroll and look at cute puppies. Or, I like to really I want to be inspired for organizing, especially with the challenges we are having from being at home, doing the remote learning and remote work, so I can relate to clients. But I don't want, I just want joy from it. Say that numbers, don't look at the numbers. Don't look at your likes or how many people are following your do anything. And now I have about 100 things, and it's probably more than enough. But I think we get a lot into the comparisons of that, and just do you. That's always we come back to. Just do what makes you happy with everything, even in the social media or that kind of realm.
Don't you love how when you want to do something with people, it always makes it more complicated? I always share these, but when I'm being recorded or sharing with clients, it's always difficult. Okay, I'm going to share. This isn't the best share screen, but it's going to work. Okay, so this is the worksheet that we're, and it's good to put the date on here, just so, you know, if you pick it up a year or a few months later, you can see where things have shifted and stuff. So here's the 3 areas that we talked about: personal growth, friends, family, and hobbies. And jot down the notes, what is bringing you joy, inspires, motivates, and challenges you on those. And then today we're going to look at the social media. So again, anything online, electronically that you're plugged into. We want you to create your social media to support you. So social media is awesome. And this is why we don't want to say, go cold turkey, take it off your phone, never check your Facebook, again, whatever. Right. That's not realistic. That's how we're keeping in touch with people.
I think,
but you want your online life to support you, your values, and where you are growing. So no matter what stage of life you are in, we're always constantly growing and learning. And so you want your online activity to support you in those endeavors. If something doesn't make you feel good, and there's a difference between thinking, I don't really like that. There's a difference between something making you feel uncomfortable, because it's making you think outside the box.
Making you kind of
challenge yourself.
Process,
there's a difference between that and something that you really don't like. So if somebody is, if you're constantly getting ads for shopping or pornography, those things, when you click on it and you look at it, the algorithms move in such a way that you are going to get more of that.
And build on that.
Yeah. And so, anything, if you're looking at a lot of politics, means you're going to get more of that. And so if those things aren't on your list in either personal growth, friends, family, or hobbies, that is something that you need to look at and think, maybe
reevaluate.
Yeah, maybe this isn't serving me.
Yeah.
And that is Facebook trying to figure out what you want so they can sell more ad space.
And I feel like that's an easy distraction that we get caught up in. So it's like, you almost have, like you said, reevaluate and put your foot down and go, I don't want to go down this rabbit hole. I really want to focus on, I had a client that actually, she switched everything because she wanted to cook. So she did all cooking, healthy eating, and she's grown so much because that's all she wanted. She's like, I don't want to know what anyone else is. She's like, I just want to get some meal planning and some healthy options and things like, what do you call it, meal prepping, all that.
Yeah.
So she focused on that.
So again, it's, you're creating the mind space. So you're taking out things that aren't paying rent, that are zapping you, and you're thinking about what you do want to have in your mind, what you do want your mind to occupy, and build your online presence around that. And so what this worksheet does is once you figure out these areas, now you think about how you spend your time online. Is it Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, wherever it is? How much space is it occupying? And is it something you need to address? And maybe not. So over these next few weeks, we may have times where we talk about things that you connect with and maybe things that you don't connect with. So maybe you're like, I don't go online. That's not an issue for me.
Yeah.
Then that is fantastic. Yeah. You know what?
I'm like,
as the group,
teach me more your ways.
Yeah, I would say please, like, we need people like you to show us how you do it. So let us know if this does not concern you, if you feel like you have a good grip on it. Let us know if you had issues and you addressed them, or if you never got involved in it.
Or tips or tricks.
Yeah, tips, tricks, what you do with your time, you know, just let us know, because that's super valuable too.
Yeah, and it's nice because I think there's a range of, you know, people who still don't use the phones for anything, don't do the smartphone apps and things. And then there's other people who are, I don't want to say, but like addicted almost to some of these things
Some
that
of
you
these
have on
things.
the worksheet sheet.
So we're just asking you to take a look at this, think about your online activity and how it is supporting your values that you've identified.
Yeah, and I'd like, because I think you were saying earlier too, you brought this up because it does then shift into, because if this isn't tackled and this isn't kind of at least thought about, then the next stages and next sessions almost get a little more challenging, because then it's like, it's almost like you just, you know, want to jump into the clutter and the chaos of the life, but it's like you got to really break it down, you know,
into baby steps.
Yeah, baby steps.
Into baby steps. And so again, we're not asking you to go cold turkey on this, because that's so painful.
Yeah.
And you know, hold on, my mind just went somewhere else.
Okay.
Stay focused. So think about how they support your values, and then start tweaking those things, whether it's email or TV or media or whatever. Start thinking about how you can tweak that. And so we have some ideas down here to help you reclaim your attention. And we're just challenging you to pick 1 or 3 ideas to implement for the week. And sometimes we also know what's best for us and we know what we need to do. So these blank spots up here are for you if you know what you need to do but haven't done it yet, to write it in there. That's totally fine. And let us know, like share it with the group.
I know, I'd be very curious because I was telling her I did a lot of it already. I would like to do some more, but I started with, I think my big start, and I just kind of had to jump in, was my settings, and just setting notifications, and changing my home screen is very simplified. So it takes me more effort. I know it's like just a swipe, but if I like just click my phone to see what time it is and there's no pop-ups, and
you're just checking the time.
I just move on. You know, so I'm very curious to see what other people kind of have on that.
Yeah. So
did someone write in? I can't see or not. I can't tell. But yeah, I like and I, you know, even sometimes we were saying this, maybe remove stuff from your home screen, or do like an unfollow list. You're not unfriending, but unfollowing. Just do that for 20 minutes. Don't overwhelm yourself. Don't get uncomfortable with it. Or even if you're just like, I can only do like 1 or 2 at a time.
Yeah, that's totally fine.
You know, like that's,
there's
no pressure.
So remove them. So the ideas that I came up with is, you know, you can remove things from your home screen. You can unfollow people, or unsubscribe.
Yeah,
from
unsubscribe
things,
is a good one too.
Or hide, silence, and pause. I love this one.
Yeah.
So I have people in my life who I love dearly, and I want to keep them in my life.
Yeah.
But maybe our political views don't line up just right, or societal views where I love the person, but sometimes it just doesn't make me feel good. And it's not that I don't feel challenged, it's just
I was gonna say, everyone has different boundaries, and you have to respect both ends of that, yours and theirs, and it's okay, you know.
So I still want to be able to, I want them to be able to reach out to me. I want to be able to reach out to them. I want to check in on them from time to time, but I don't need to see their daily opinions on what's going on. Certain things. And so you can hide, silence, or pause people now. And so it's just for 30 days. And then, you know, 30 days, they pop back up again in your feed. And if it's the same thing, you can just pause them again for 30 days. They don't see you do that.
No, that's what's nice about it. Or like the silencing. I have a couple group chats or group messages or something. And I enjoy them. I do, and I have a lot of love for them, but I have to put them on silent because I'll, especially at work, I do not want to be distracted.
Right,
When
yeah.
I'm with clients, like it's about you guys, you know. So that's been a huge change for me.
I'm also turning off notifications. I realized about a year and a half ago that my phone was just dinging, dinging, dinging. And at first you're like, oh, I got a message from so-and-so, or oh,
Someone
so-and-so
posted something.
replied to my post,
Yeah,
right? And
yeah.
it's very, it can feel good. It can feel rewarding. And somebody likes a photo.
And then 20 minutes later, you're still on the app.
So I just shut off my notifications because
especially with work, I feel like you would have so many, you know?
Yeah, I do get a lot, but and I still have notifications for who I need to be notified from work.
Right.
But I don't have the constant notifications from
like something you posted.
Yeah, like I follow people on YouTube and I love to know, but I don't have it. I don't have to know when they post.
Yeah,
at
find
2 in the afternoon.
Yeah,
I'll go looking for them. So turn off the notifications, and as you said, move things off your home screen.
Yeah.
So you have to go look for it.
Yeah, or you did folders too.
Yeah, I put all of my social media into one
folder. Like it's not right in your face.
And or set screen time limit. So whether or not you have an Android phone or a iPhone, am I able to resize this here? I think we're good. But whether you have an Android or an iPhone, both phones, if it's a smartphone, you have the capability of setting your time limits on the phone. So you can say for Facebook, I only want to spend 30 minutes or whatnot. You may need to do that. That's an option. Play around in your settings. If you don't know how to do something, Google is your friend. Say, how do I set time limits on my phone for Facebook or for Instagram?
Yeah.
And you'll find tutorials on that. If you need help finding something, just send us a message. We might be able to point you in the right
I was
direction.
gonna say, a lot of times it's in settings or in the actual app. And we've done a lot of that. I've silenced and reset a lot, so I'd be happy to help.
Okay, so and then when I was researching some of this to share with you today, I ran across this doctor who said something that kind of resonated with me, and he said, refine your inputs. So in sociology, psychology, they say you are most like the 5 people you spend the most time with. So think of the 5 people you spend the most time with and look at what they are like.
Yeah,
and
that's really
you probably have a very good picture of what you are like. And so now take that one step further and look at the places, who and what are you spending the most time with online? And does that reflect who you want to be?
Yeah, I like that a lot.
Yeah. And then diving into it, are you a doer or a viewer? So are you shutting off your phone and actually doing the item that you want to do, or are you just a viewer? And you know what this is? I just thought of that. I need to write that down.
Yeah.
So I've noticed this a lot when we help people organize their craft room. A hobby, I kid you not, an actual hobby is buying craft supplies. Completely different than doing crafts.
Yeah. Yes. I like that point too. Actually, I am about to do a craft room, and no crafts are being done whatsoever. It's not even a surface available for a craft.
Yeah.
But I feel like that could go back into your hobbies category, because again, for me, dancing. Where am I going to dance if we're doing the virtual stuff? If I have no space.
Right.
You know, or you like to do bike, but your bike's hanging way up in the garage or something that's inaccessible. So again, like I know it might seem like an interesting topic. Maybe people don't dive into the social media too much or have had issues. I myself have had.
Yeah.
I was like a couple times I thought to myself, oh my gosh, this is just way too much screen time. And and I got away from my hobbies. And, you know, and we talked about this friends and family, the drama even online that you can see, and it can really drain you and then take you away from your personal growth and hobbies and things like that, you know, so
yeah. And I brought back to the screen where I can see that our audio and video is lagging, and that it's kind of hard to follow what we're saying. I apologize for that. I'm hoping to get this resolved. We're sure somebody coming in this week that's supposed to be helping, just because everybody is working and they're having issues too. So we are recording this, and I'll go back and I'll look at the recording and see if
maybe we could fill in the blanks maybe.
Yeah, because I think it's recording on this way. We'll post it so you can watch it again and post notes. So hang in there with this.
I know.
I'm sorry. It's so frustrating. It's so frustrating when the video and audio is not working.
Because everyone's probably in the building now too, you know,
Working.
Yeah.
So with this, does anybody have any questions or comments that you want to chime in on? Now's the time to unmute or type a message to us. So come on back. Let us know you're still here.
Okay.
Cindy.
Hi, this is Cindy.
Hi.
Hello.
I have an old iPad, so I have to do both my iPad and my iPhone.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
For the audio. My challenge is a lot more complicated. I've kind of done all the easy stuff, but I have a really, a lot of stuff I'm working through and things that take my time that are emergencies. So it's hard to really do much more than put out fires all day. And also, do you know anything about empath? Does your
are you an empath?
Yeah, and sometimes I think I may be using the clutter to protect myself. I just realized that on some books I recently read. It's not witchcraft. I'm not into witchcraft, but the books I've read are by doctors also. Even just the highly sensitive person, I've read part of that. So it just, I've done some of the easy stuff. I've realized that I took too much time on Facebook, and I set timers for myself all day long. Plus I have timers for my client who's a disabled adult for her medications and for supervising her care staff. So I basically run my home with my adult disabled daughter as a personal assisted living facility just for her. When I do self-care, sometimes I feel guilty.
I applaud you. Being a caregiver full-time is exhausting and can be very draining. And then, so you have that aspect, and then being an empath, which I have to say, empaths are some of the strongest people that I know, because you're absorbing the energy and the emotions of everybody around you. And that is not easy. So, do you have any?
You know, I was thinking too, you know, with that area, we talked about this before, it's thankless, and then you get into the guilt of it all. And I think we kept saying we got to bring it back to baby steps and little, just tiny little things that you can slowly start doing, because it is a lot of emotions that start rumbling around with different things. Even like unfollowing people, you start to get emotional. What if they find out?
Yeah,
it's gonna be okay.
Yeah.
For the most part, I always want to encourage people that it's gonna be okay. You know, baby steps for yourself. If you're doing good, the people who are gonna care are gonna applaud you. You know what I mean? And then you'll start to see people who go, if they don't want you doing any self-care or taking time for yourself, That's another thing to,
Yeah.
you know.
And also, you know, don't discredit the work you've already done, because the baby steps build upon each other. And so the fact that you recognize, hey, look, I've done these things and I've done the easy things and now I'm working on the harder things, that's okay. And in fact, for next week, what we plan to do is come back and talk about, you know, anybody that has made progress from this week. And then we're going to jump into actual like time management and talking about how just 5 to 10 minutes a day can start to transform your space, your projects, your challenges that you have in front of you. If anybody looks at a big challenge and you think, okay, I'm going to attack this today. I'm going to clear out my whole kitchen or my whole office today. And an hour into it, you're exhausted. You're probably not going to want to go back in there tomorrow or tonight.
You're frustrated.
Yeah. But just chunking it down to 5 or 10 minutes can really, you can build on that progress.
Yeah.
And so you just take those small,
it's like
times during the day and build on it.
Instead of having like thinking like of a negative snowball, you want to start to shift into a positive snow. I don't know if it was a snowball, but you know, because I mean, I think a lot of times we'll discuss, this didn't happen overnight for either one of us. I had a bazillion challenges and really struggled.
I think we continue to work on it.
Yeah,
we still have
I'm completely. We're always editing. We're always discussing. I said, you know, I'm struggling with this, and we'll bounce off of each other. Also building your support, but in areas that bring, like you said, brings you up versus people dragging you down. And I think what's hard is a lot of times we think, oh, I have all this clutter in my house, I have all these items. But for me, I was like, I had clutter with drama and people in life, and it had nothing to do with me. Once I started eliminating that, I was like, wow, like I wasn't so sensitive to things that were coming up and distracted, because I knew in my heart that I was like, I'm doing great in my health, in my family, and my work. And that was what was important. I was like, if I'm not like super popular celebrity, that's not what I want.
And then Cindy, for the empath, I want to throw out just an idea. And you can tell me if you've tried this and if it doesn't work or not. But one technique that I've heard that has helped people who are empaths, because you literally are a sponge and you're picking up the emotions of everybody around you. And so it occupies your mind. Am I right? Like,
yeah,
it's in there and you think about it and stuff. So this is going to sound really silly, but bear with me. Let's say you put on your schedule 15 minutes out of the day, and it could be any time during the day, and you put that in as your empath worrying session.
Yes, I've been doing
okay. And so,
I have that.
So let's say somebody you dealt with has a lot of grief, and you're really worried about them, and they're occupying your mind. I want you to say, okay, I'm going to worry about this person, but I'm going to worry about it during my empath worrying session. And you can make a note, mental note, whatever works for you. And then when you find yourself having it's like those thoughts coming up in you and you start to worrying and stuff, just remind yourself, I have time scheduled for this. I'm going to schedule, have you tried that before?
I've done all the easy stuff. It's more physical. Caregivers still here, so I have to be quiet. I feel the animosity from the caregiver, and it makes me lie in bed all day sometimes. I have a neighbor next door that is depressed, and sometimes I find myself getting down, and then I've learned over time to ask myself these questions. Even before I read that book, I've recognized this in myself for years. One other thing to start a new topic is, on top of this, it's been 15 years since my husband died and killed himself. And I'm still grieving and no one wants to hear about it because they think I should be over it by now. So on top of everything, the clutter's related to him. And I still dream about him and dream like we're still together. It's like my mind thinks he's on a business trip and I can't convince myself otherwise.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I don't want to get too personal in the group, but you may, if you haven't already, you may want to seek out.
Counselors. I have lots
good.
of counselors. Don't worry, I've done all the grief work.
Good. So now,
it's just I have two different counselors I talk to one week, and like I said, I've done all the easy stuff.
And now you're,
that
doesn't sound easy.
I know, I was like, I don't know if that's easy.
It sounds like to me you've done the hard work,
Yeah.
and now you're ready to take on another challenge.
Yeah,
is what
I was gonna say, it almost sounds like, I don't want to use the word dark, but I feel like it almost is maybe coming up higher now, and you are addressing it. It's still challenging, because I was maybe just picking up on this, but I'm like, if you have constant reminders of your husband, it is going to be hard to differentiate real life to sleeping life to dream world,
And if you've addressed those things and now you're ready to dig in and tackle some of those piles around, I think you are going to get a lot of good information and stuff out of next week when we dive into time management and how we start to attack those piles.
Yeah, and I think, again, what she was bringing up is kind of about how we were just discussing in this topic too. Someone telling you about your grief is none of their business. So, maybe that's somewhere you need a boundary.
Yeah.
Or an unfollow. You don't want to take people out of your life that you love and have respect for. But, because I had to put up my boundaries, but I'm so grateful and thankful that I have now, because it's changed my drainage. I'm not completely empty anymore, because they were making me feel so guilty about my own true emotions, which you're allowed to have.
Yeah.
I
don't
you don't get to dictate your grief.
I've done all that. I've done all that easy stuff. Even with people, I've done all the easy stuff. I'm pretty isolated. My life is pretty isolated right now because I've realized who I need to cut out. And
our support.
Yeah. Well, we are very glad that you are here.
I don't want to hog.
No, you're fine. You're fine. Does anybody?
With autism too, sometimes I hog without realizing it. So just feel free to set boundaries with me too.
We're pretty good at that. That's kind of what we do all day.
We're working on it.
So does anybody else have any comments or anything that they would like to chime in on today? Feel free to.
I really want people to share, because we really want to be encouraging and motivating to see anything if you're stuck on something, or if feel like you've been successful, we want to give you kudos.
Yes. Yeah. So let us know if you have any questions. Feel free to use the chat message. And I just saw Frances is trying to get back in.
Thank you.
Okay. Yeah.
Hi, Frances.
Thank you.
I'm sorry I didn't see you there.
Oh goodness.
Did you have any questions for us today, or anything you want us to touch base on?
No, thank you. No.
Okay.
How do I go?
All right, and I'm just gonna. How do you want?
Oh, maybe she wanted to go on mute.
Oh, okay. So now's the time. We'll give you a minute to unmute yourself if you want to ask us anything, or type it in the comment sections.
Yeah. So again, next week we'll bring up, what we discussed. We'll kind of do a review and go over if anybody, had any challenges or any, made any progress. I'm very excited to hear about. And then, like we said, we love any other tips and stuff, and because with entrepreneurial businesses and stuff, you have to kind of stay connected to locally, and so it can be challenging putting up the boundaries and setting up your space for your personal growth and hobbies.
Yeah, and we're excited about being able to connect with everybody every week
Yeah,
because
we need
of
the
the whole
support.
COVID thing of being isolated
Yeah.
and stuff. So thank you for your message, Francis. And Gail,
yes.
yes, we are going to email out to everybody the worksheet that we put together for this week. So as soon as we get off here, I'm going to email that out to everybody. And I have everybody's email through Meetup. And so that's how I will email it to you. So if you don't get it by noon today, go on Meetup and say, I didn't get it.
And you don't have to fill it out if you don't want, like, there's no pressure. I think it's I enjoyed it. It got me already thinking.
Yeah. All right. So again, we really thank you for being here. And we look forward to seeing you all next Thursday. Hopefully we will have a better connection.
Glitch-free.
Yeah, and I'll also send out a link. I'm gonna go back through the recording and see if it recorded on our end. All right, so thank you so much for joining us today, and we'll see you next week.
Take care.
Bye.
Thank you.